If you're one of those people who will spend your last dollar trying to buy designer items because you told yourself the logo makes them so much better, I bet you spent all the last week trying to kick your own ass. Now, remember the game show called To Tell the Truth? Their tagline was, "Will the real person please stand up?" Well, these tariffs or the threat of tariffs have been the truth serum. Turns out some of these companies that claim their products are made in Italy by Italian designers with the most creativity in the fashion world, they've been lying to you. The people putting in the long hours, putting in the sweat equity behind those brands are Chinese. If you believe the videos on TikTok, and I do, the items some of y'all are paying thousands of dollars for were manufactured in China for a fraction of the retail price that you paid for them. All the front company has to do after they get the items already made is put their logo on them, and then they jack up the price by 300%. And because some of y'all won't leave the house without somebody else's logo on your ass, on your chest, on your purse, you end up handing over your wealth to people who couldn't care less about you or your financial health. April is Financial Literacy Month, by the way. Ain't nothing changed but the date on the calendar. Some of these people claim to be the biggest, the baddest, the most intellectual of all, and most creative. But when it turns out that they just lie, 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 no matter what. I remember living in Baltimore in 2008 to 2009 area, and I used to drive around town. And when I would drive around, I would see people making this gesture like this. They would be making a gesture when people were driving by. And so it turns out that gesture meant that they wanted you to pick them up and give them a ride somewhere, and in exchange for that they would give you money. So it was kind of like a private transaction between two private individuals. Instead of them calling a taxi, they wanted a private individual to pick them up because probably they would get charged less if it was not a taxi. And so a lot of people would do that. Just this little thing, they would stand on the side of the street, and as people would drive by, and I would be one of those people that happened to be driving by, and then they would start making this gesture, and I'm like, well, what are they doing? So turns out that's what it was. It was Uber before Uber. So then you would have the local newscasters to say they started talking about it because it was a thing. 2008, 2009, local newscasters would say things like, you're not supposed to pick people up off the side of the road if you're not a registered cab taxi driver. It's against the law. You need a license, and they could rob you. They kept coming up with these scenarios as to why they didn't want people to do it. Now, true enough, maybe it was a setup to be robbed. I don't know. I never picked anybody up. But my point for bringing it up is not too long after that, Uber came into existence. And every time I thought about the existence of Uber and how you were essentially sharing your car, they were doing that already in Baltimore before Uber. Black people, okay? Because that's where I saw it done. So it just said to me that maybe, who knows, maybe somebody in who officially took Uber to where it is today, or when they founded it, when they got the business plan together, who's to say if they were not from Baltimore, or they knew, or they came down and saw the idea and then took it to the next level? Because that's what happens. We, as Black and brown people, we have ideas, and we're so creative, most creative people in the world. And then we just don't follow through with ideas. And so somebody that has the money or has the connections, they will take an idea that we might have shared with them, and then they will take it to the next level. Um, I took an Uber just the other day, and I took it from the airport in Knoxville because I was at home. And then I took it to just 5 miles away. So they charged me 40 bucks. Uber charged me 40 bucks. When I got in the vehicle with the Uber driver, we, for some reason, started talking about the price. And I told him, yeah, I'm getting charged 40 bucks for this trip. He tells me I'm only getting paid like $18, $19 for this trip, because how it works is you sign your vehicle up, you make sure you have the insurance and all that to drive your vehicle, and then you take the app and you're an Uber driver. So you sign into the app, and then they start to send you requests for people like me who want a ride. And then the Uber driver, they tell you how much you're going to get paid for that ride. And then the person who's wanting the ride, they charge me a certain amount. So they upped the price by 101% or something, but was only giving him 19 or not even 20 bucks. He wasn't even getting half of what they were charging me. So essentially, they marked it up 100% and kept most of the money. Now, that's their prerogative to do that, because that's how business works. We understand that, but marking stuff up 100%, marking things up 300%, that's basically legalized robbery as far as I'm concerned. We have been getting legally robbed of our intellectual property for years. And of course, some of us have given those ideas to somebody thinking that they were going to do right by us. I remember one of my good friends, Laverne, in Nashville. She and I, have come up with so many programs that we want to produce. So we reached out to a couple of people in the industry, shared ideas with them. And if you've done this yourself, and let me know if you've done this yourself, you have approached someone about a show idea. One of the things that they have you do is to sign a non-disclosure agreement. And in that non-disclosure agreement, it says that even though you're telling us your idea, just be aware that we might have already thought of this. Just be aware that we might have already had this in production, or that something similar to it. So just because you see it on the air doesn't mean that we took your idea. That's kind of in a nutshell what the non-disclosure all will say. And so after sharing our idea, which was Lips, Ladies in the Pulpit was the name of our show. Lips, Ladies in the Pulpit. We had the little moniker. We had our and as a matter of fact, one of my good friends from high school was going to be on the show. We had Snoop Dogg's mama. We even produced the sizzle reel. We had them come to Dallas. We did all of that and then presented it to someone and said, hey, we got the cast members, we got everything. Do you know, later on, within 6 months to a year, they started doing the preachers of LA, preachers of Detroit, preachers of this. So Laverne and I pretty much know that they stole our idea, but they took it and did something else with it. And so instead of working with us, they worked around us. So that's just another example. I could come up with all types of examples, and you probably know some if you are trying to get in that industry, or we're trying to get in that industry. You know of people who have essentially have told you, that's my idea that I see, but you can't prove it, or you don't have the money to sue them. Therefore, you end up just having to live with the fact that you know that you're the most creative, but they stole your stuff, basically. So yes, this is what's really going on. And so I believe the Chinese TikTokers, and when they say we have put we are the designers, we created it, we manufactured this stuff, all those companies are doing is putting their logo on it and then selling it for 38 times what they paid us for it and all of that. So My message to you is to stop allowing other people to take your ideas and make millions while you are still trying to figure out how to pay the bills at the end of the month. We're still trying to figure out how to make a dollar out of 15 cents when you have that creativity. But we're so busy thinking that if we fake it till we make it, if we have this logo, or if we drive this type of vehicle, if we do all these things that try to make us look the part, we're spending our money on things when we should be taking that money and investing it or saving it or starting our own business. So that's what I want to share with you. In fact, I've never been a logo type person, but I occasionally will wear, whatever area I'm in. Like, I live in Dallas and I have been a Cowboys fan for like ever, so occasionally I would wear a Cowboys hat or something like that. But I've gotten to the point where I'm just not going to I started a company, a drone company. It's called TCB Drones. And so I've come to the realization that nobody's going to make my business work and promote my business like I should. And so when I feel like I want to wear a hat instead of comb my hair or something, or if I want to go around and do something, I always just put on my TCB Drones shirt, my TCB Drones hat. And so I'm not going to promote anybody before I promote my business. So if you know anyone who needs drone services, our focus is on data collection. We do infrastructure inspections and utility line inspections and the occasional search and rescue mission. That's what we focus on. But we also are willing to do weddings and outdoor events. In fact, we're partnering with some people. So I tell you that you should start your own business. Quit giving your money to these people who don't care about you or your financial well being. And so do that over everything. And because you have made it this far in my video, I'm going to give you a gift if you email me and I'm going to put my email in the chat, info at TCB Drones, info at tcbdrones.com. If you email me and tell me that you saw this, I'm going to give you the choice of two gifts. I don't have the gift to show you right now because I'm not at home. I'm on the road. But I recently interviewed the founder of the Negro League Baseball Museum in Kansas City, and I have some hats that say the I have some hats, paraphernalia from the Negro League Baseball Museum. It might be one that says Negro League Baseball, or it might be one of the teams that they used to have. I can't remember, but that's what I have. If you want that hat, you let me know. Send me your email address in to me. Email me, or I go to Tulsa often, and that's where one of the Black Wall Streets of Black America was. And so I have a lot of Black Wall Street paraphernalia. So if you would like to have either one of those, then go ahead and email me at info at tcbdrones.com, and I will send you one of those. So tell me which one you want. Send me your email. Send me your address so I can ship you one of those gifts. And let this be a motivation to you. All these things that we're hearing about these Chinese TikTokers and how they really are the ones behind, they're the wind beneath these people's wings. I would say do your own thing. Let this be something to let you know that you don't have to, that you are creative, and you got to step out on faith and do some things that maybe nobody said that you could do, but you know what you're capable of, but you just have to push yourself through it. and there'll be people out there who will support you. And you know what? It's okay to use to outsource your services, or to have somebody else to help you, but just be honest about it. Don't like mark it up 300%. That's like greedy as hell. So yeah, that's what I would say to you. So to find out more about the things that I care about, you can go to the written version of my journal. That's at eurweb.com.